morning, folks. It is August 27th, 2022, approximately 8 a.m. Hope our creator is keeping you well and safe wherever you are in the world. Please make sure to hit that like button. Share this across other platforms so we can let people know what's going on with our sun and the effects it can have here on our planet. If you happen to be new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell in case we have any critical future updates. As we can see, yesterday, right around the noon hour, we had a nice M7.2, and then we did have another M3, just kind of spiked back up. This is registering two of them. But overnight, or early in the morning, UTC time, we had an M4.88 pop off, and then we came back down and had another little pop. And then we just had another M1.23. We're obviously increasing in our M flares. As you can see, our flux, our baseline, we've moved out of B, and we are living in a state of constant C flux. Once we get up here into the C flux, M flares are possible, and once we start getting up into high C's, X flares are possible. Now, the one that we saw yesterday did have a coronal mass ejection, but as I reported, it did go ahead of Earth, so it's going to miss us. But this one, however, that's another story. Again, see how this one's got a nice fat butt? She got a big old booty on her? Well, this one's got a big old booty on her too, but this one's going to impact. We come over here and we take a look at our X-ray absorption from those flares, and we will actually, we're going to notice a little something here. Okay, this was the tail end of the one with the fat butt. Okay, this is the tail end of it. Didn't catch it in time, but that's the tail end of it. And if you notice right about here, we've got all these little snap, crackles, and pops, but this is what I'm looking at here. You see that? These right here are charged protons that rode down our geomagnetic line that connects us to the sun. This is an indicator that we're going to be impacted. Okay, now the geomagnetic line, let me see if I can find it real quick. That's what this guy is right here. See these lines, these black and white little lines? These are the geomagnetic lines that connect us to our sun. Okay, our satellites use them, our planets use them, and so what it did is when this popped off, it actually rode down the lines and impacted the Earth. Now, to get back to this, if you happen to be an aurora watcher, this would be a good time for you to be out there taking some pictures, because right now, yeah, you're getting a charge of it, that's for sure. One of the other things I'd like to mention is that not all of these models are agreeing. Okay, this right here is NASA's Enlil prediction model. This is the only model that NASA has. Okay, this is their Enlil. Yes, Enlil, the Anunnaki god, wannabe god, and I do mean wannabe god. This is their model, and as you can see, it's showing all of it going off to this side, completely missing Earth. However, when you check out the European Space Agency, it has not even updated for that eruption yet. Okay, but it does show an impact on the 28th. Well, that's going to be from our solar winds, from that large coronal hole that I've showed you guys that has that active sunspot region in it. This is going to be when our solar winds arrive on the 28th. However, I have a feeling we're going to have a CME impact on the 29th from what we just had this morning. And this would be the coronal hole that I'm talking about with the active region right in the middle. These will be arriving tomorrow. Now over here checking out a real-time solar wind. Over here at SolarHam, we actually did receive a glancing blow. Earlier this morning we did drop down below -5. But as you can see, we are starting to recover. In fact, let's go ahead and click on this and we'll see our event. It takes us over here to NOAA, and we can see our event. Every time you see these little purple lines here, this is when we're in event mode. Okay, and we can clearly see that we did get some reverberation here, and then we started to recover, and then boop, came back down, and bam, now we're right back up into recovery. So I think that glancing blow from 3 days ago, I think that's going to be done and over with. So it's not a major ordeal, and the one that's going to impact us is not going to be a lights out, grid down, or anything from what you just saw. Everything is fine. It's normal. It happens regularly. Now we're going to jump over here to our star, and we're over here at ISWA looking at 193 angstroms of light on the SDO. Now I'm going to zoom in here for us a little bit here so we can actually see this eruption. Now if we keep our eyes over here, we're going to see the eruption pop off. Now this one is a little bit different than yesterday. You see this? I'm going to go step by step. You see that eruption? You see the surface of the sun here? You see this right here? All this solar tsunami? Whoosh, you see that? That is why I know it's coming our direction. That had a significant explosion. It didn't just get directed this way. The explosion actually covered all the way over to here. Well, we're right here in the middle, which means some of that's going to be coming at us. Now don't forget, we've got these solar winds that are this is gonna be blending in with and getting a hitched ride right down to us as well. So that is pretty decent right there, folks. And if we also look up here, we had an explosion off the backside right there. See that top left? We had a decent explosion there. So I'm almost wondering if this eruption right here on the lower right, the one we just had, that we're going to be affected by, didn't, and this does happen, folks. You'll have an eruption here, but it'll be big enough where it'll actually affect the whole surface of the sun and charge up another sunspot group and make it erupt, like this one right here. Whoop, boom. So that's, in fact, this one on the backside, that one's pretty significant. Look at the ribbons just open up and just explode and release that. I mean, I think the one off the backside was probably bigger than the one that we just had off the front side, to be honest with you. But that's just me. Coming over here to the 304, we're going to take a look and see what we got going on here. Again, lower right, keeping our eyes peeled there. Bam, there's our eruption. Oop, let me get our timestamp down there for you. And there was our eruption. Now you can see that there was some plasma here. Now don't forget, our coronal hole is right here. Okay, so that bugger right there just whipped out in all directions. So yeah, that's going to be affecting us. And then to watch the top side, see any eruption there? Yep, that was about all we saw on the backside. Unfortunately, it's too far out of the rays of light for us to be able to see the full effect. But that we're going to have something out of that. Now, just to do some extra verification, because you guys know me, I like to use more than one source. We're going to look at stereo ahead and back this out just a little bit. And this is our eruption from last night. Okay, now check this out, folks. I stopped here I wanted to come here for a reason. So that was the one from last night, right? Wait a minute, where'd it go? Was that the one? No, it may not be the one. Oh, and then there's the one that we just had. Oh yeah, this is the one we just had. Now check this out, folks. There's something massive that came out of the sun. Okay? Look at this right here. Might even be something here, but if you look at this right here, I'm not just talking about plasma. I mean, there is something. Look at this. A complete shadow casted over this. There is something here that's not lit up with all of this plasma around it. There is an object, and it's still there. A round planetary object, a spaceship, I don't know, but that thing would be about the size of Jupiter. Because this is the size of the sun right here, this white disk. So this would be about the size of Jupiter, whatever that is. That thing is a monster. It is something else. And then all of a sudden they, boop, where'd it go? Missing data. Once again, they don't want us to see it. Why they keep doing that, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that some kind of a large planetary type object? What was that? Was it a huge spaceship coming out? I mean, did the sun just hurl a big old chunk? Did it just give birth to another planet? I don't know. But that's pretty interesting. Now, don't forget, we're over in this region. Okay, we're not at a complete 45 like 45 like we used to be. Actually, this would be 90. We're more like over here. We're more like in this direction. So this little bit here, we are going to get a glancing blow out of it. But once again, like I said, it's not a major deal. Now, for another resource, leaving ISWA, we are over here at seeds. Now, if we look, this is the eruption that we had this morning. Okay. Now, if you look at where the plasma is, it's a partial halo. Okay, but if you look at where it starts, it kind of goes from where my pointer is, my cursor is right about here, all the way up to here. You guys see that? So what you do is you draw a line from here to here, and that's going to be the affected region. And we're right here. So we're going to get a glancing blow from it. It's definitely coming. And then look at what they do. They jump ahead from 312 to 636. We're missing 3 hours and 24 minutes of data. And then, of course, you can see the explosion all out here, the plasma. So, yippee-ki-yay to that. Thanks, NASA. Appreciate that. Thanks for your contracts that you have with all these satellite companies and being able to just remove data at whim. Frickin' pricks. This stuff pisses me off. So, why are we having all these eruptions off of this side? Well, let's not forget. Planetstoday.com Okay, here's the Earth. Now we were in line with Saturn. Okay, so not only did we have, do you remember those magnetic lines? Not only do we have our magnetic connection line, we crossed Saturn's, which means extra pull in one direction. Well, you had Jupiter over here, and you got Neptune behind it. So their connection lines, there's a lot of pull over in this direction, and we're starting to rotate this direction. So once we get over here, lined up here, yeah, that's when some real fun is going to start. And we're going to jump over here to the Italian model of our Schumann resonance. We can see that there's some kind of activity going on in our electric field or electromagnetic field. But yesterday we were sounding off on the Italian model. Okay, the day before that we had a little bit of popping, but yesterday, yeah, and believe me, I felt every bit of it. Over here to our Russian model, however, this is where it's a little different. We got blackout. We had blackout yesterday, and we got another blackout today. Why do we have these blackouts going on, Russia? What's going on? So keep your eyes open. No fear. Remember that love is the only way forward. So out.